Hey friends, welcome to the special edition of Trade Your Way to Freedom. This is Dennis, the Autopilot Trader. By the time you get this video, I'm going to be on an airplane high above the Pacific heading west towards South Korea. I am slipping into a week, a little bit over a week worth of time in South Korea, seeing my son, my daughter-in-law, and my 3 fantastic grandchildren that live there in South Korea. So I'm ready to rock and roll, but I wanted to get with you to share what I'm seeing in the market right now. So let's go ahead and jump over into this today's session. So what are we looking at? One is in this session, I'm going to be really covering our market movers for the week. What could be to, and we saw one of the big market movers today when the CPI or PMI came in a little bit lighter than expected, meaning inflation wasn't quite as heavy it was in April as it was back in March. Now, yeah, the market reacted very positively to that, but got all the way up into resistance and then went stalled out. As I've spoken to you before, there's a lot of things going on there at that higher level on the S&P and on the NASDAQ, where there is a bunch of sellers up there that were faked out back a few months ago, thinking that we were going to break out and head on higher. Didn't happen. So the buyers there got stuck holding the bag, and they're trying, they've said that prayer, oh Lord, please let me get back to break even and I'll get the heck out of Dodge. Then as every time that level is attacked, we'll show you on this chart, every time it's attacked, what does it do? It basically drains off a few of those sellers until eventually they're all gone. Then we get the massive breakout. But there's a lot of other headwinds that the market is working on and having a challenge with. And so I've got a couple of good stocks to take a look at today. And of course, since this is a special edition, this is not live. So my friend Neil Parikh will not be with us today, but we will be back on the air live on the 26th of May, because I come back from South Korea on the 22nd. So I'll be back in the groove. I will post a recorded session next week just to say, hey, here's what's going on with the market. So just a reminder that, hey, I offer this fantastic training course. It's called Precision Entry Points. It basically is a routine training. It'll help you solidify your routine and get you in place for achieving higher probability trades with, in turn, larger profits, which is very important. It's a value well over $400 because it does come with a bonus video on candlesticks, and you can find it. I will put the link down to find this training down in the description on the YouTube channel. And while we're talking about that on the YouTube channel, please save, share, let other people know that we're broadcasting, let other people know that we're posting these fantastic training tips and Trade Your Way to Freedom videos, because I really, really want to help other traders become the best trader they can possibly be. If you are an autopilot trader, I'm going to be sharing with you some of my tips from the road, because today's trading tips is very simply how to trade while traveling, of course. So here's 4 of the things you need to be taking a look at while you're trading while traveling. 1, know your local time zone. Very, very critical. Okay, I'm going to South Korea. The time difference between South Korea and Hawaii is 19 hours. That means at 10:30 at night in Korea, that's when the market opens in New York. At 4 o'clock in the morning, approximately, that's when the market closes. I think that's the way it is. That's when the market closes. And so it's basically just 180 degrees out of sync with what I'm normally trading. So I had better have planned for that adjustment in my sleep schedule. And also, if I don't want to change my sleep schedule, I had better darn sure be trading my conditional orders and utilizing those to the full extent possible, which is exactly what we do with the Autopilot trading service. 1, take advantage of technology. One of the things you need to be doing if you are going to be traveling overseas is make sure that you apply for, with your mobile phone carrier, get them to switch on, like I have Verizon, they switch on a little switch. I pay a little bit of extra, but it saves me a lot on mobile phone charges. and it's one flat fee. So much better, especially if I'm going to be sitting there looking and watching my and trading off my mobile phone app. Very important. And I also want to be knowing that I'm getting my alerts and all that kind of stuff coming through. Lastly, stay up to date on market news. And of course, the best way I find to do that is I just have some of the news come to me directly on my mobile device. And then finally, manage your expectations. And what I like to call this is one of the things is I'm going there to enjoy my wife, my son, my daughter-in-law, and my three grandkids. So I don't want to be all wrapped up in trading all the time because I'm there to spend time with family, make new friends, enjoy the sights and sounds of South Korea, and because it's such a beautiful country. So I don't want to get overly burdened with my trading adventure. So what does that mean? What does that look like to me? Is one, I need to carve out time from my day that is where I'm not going to be an interference to what the family wants to do my trade planning during that time, and then just launch my conditional orders and truly let it be fire and forget. Let the orders take care of themselves. You like that idea? So there's my trading tip for today. How to trade while traveling. Oh, the other thing, if I could add a number 5 there, is don't trade at all. Just basically say, I'll trade when I get back home. Because one thing's about being out of your environment. If you have not planned for your trading adventure, you are prone to make mistakes, and mistakes are prone to cost you money. Here's our quote by Mark Minervini. And okay, let's take a look at the market and what the heck it's doing. I do have 2 stocks to review later on. You want to hang on to those because one of them is going to be a trade on Tesla or the lack of a trade on Tesla. And so here's our comparison. Here's where we're at. We're basically moving up on the same trajectory as our 40% line, but we'll wait till later in the year to hopefully we need to accelerate that back up and hit that line. And that's what we did last year. Worked out very nice. Here's where we were on the 28th. And of course, last week I was traveling in California, didn't have a Friday webinar. And here's where we are today. We have got ourselves up a little bit over and above where we were the week before, I think. Yeah. Well, we're actually about the same amount. And but we are beating the S&P by a little bit more than last time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charts on the S&P. And see what the heck's going on with that. Okay, as you can see with this chart of the spiders, I've got the weekly on the left, the daily on the right. Price action today, considering the supposed good news from the inflation report, didn't really do a lot. Matter of fact, it hasn't been doing a lot ever since going back to the beginning of April. We've been driving sideways in this little range between 404 up to about the 417 level. And just above that 417 level is a huge overhang of resistance. And this is the area that I've mentioned where there are sellers hanging out up here that were basically hit when it broke out here. They bought this breakout, but wham, they're sitting up here, and every time price action gets up in here, like here and here, the sellers came in and pushed prices back down. Note that this time they're not pushing it down that much, and buyers are coming in closer to the moving averages on the weekly chart, which means they are also coming in on, towards the 50-day moving average. So the good news, spiders above the 50, above the 8, above the 20, above the 200-day moving average. So those are all positives looking forward. If I can move that up a little bit. There we go. So that's what we've got going on with the spiders. I'll slide that over there. There we go. And so let's see. What about the next item? Is the NASDAQ? NASDAQ has now moved again on up into the level of where sellers came in before, and so sellers have not come in to beat down the NASDAQ yet. However, today's candlestick is a bearish reversal signal called a hanging man, and so that could be an indication that we are going to fall back down. Note, all the price action is taking place above all the moving averages. That's a big positive for the NASDAQ. So in my pecking order of the tracking indexes that we follow, the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell, is the NASDAQ is strongest, followed by the S&P, and then unfortunately bringing up the rear is the Russell. As you can see, the Russell hanging out below the 50-day, 200-day moving average right here. There we go. And having a hard time staying above the 20-day moving average, and is also below the 50-day moving average until we break out above that 50, which it is a really nice consolidation, really nice consolidation pattern here. It came down, put in a double bottom, and it's moving back up. However, has not cleared above that 50 yet, so as long as that 50 is above the price action, it will act as a level of resistance to potentially push, go up there, stall and fall. That's a good way to put that. So that's what we're looking at with the Russell. And so let's go ahead and jump over and take a look at the stocks that I have that I'm interested in this week. First of all, we'll finish off with Tesla, but let's take a look at Wing. I think this is the Wingstop. Excellent potential trade. Let's walk through what this would look like. And what we've got is price actions are, one, above the 200-day moving average. They're above all the other moving averages except the 8. They have pulled back towards the 20. And the last time it did that, towards the 20 and the 34, it rebounded and bounced. We've had a two-line cluster on the daily chart of the market forecast, which is a potential reversal signal, normally within 1 to 4 trading periods after you get the two-line cluster, you get a reversal. We have a bullish harami in place. That is a reversal signal. And price actions have come back down to where it broke out from right after earnings. So we're retesting the breakout, and it could rebound from there. How do we want to trade this? Well, I like, there's a couple of different ways you can trade this. One is I can trade the going above the high of today. The high of today is 206.02. So if you want to give it a nickel or a dime above that, you could actually put in a conditional order to buy. And since the market is still in a uptrend under pressure, I would buy only a half position. And so you could buy breaking out, or I could buy on a retest back to about the 201 level. The thing about it is, though, if this does reverse and move up quickly, it's probably not going to retest back in that area. So either way, another kind of trick you can do, it's not a trick, but it's a hack you can do, is you could have two orders. Let's say you want to buy a half position in total. I could, put in an order for a quarter position on a pullback back in the 201 area, and put in a quarter position breaking out above the 206.12 level or 206.7 level. And what that would do for me is that, let's say it did move higher without coming back down. At least I would be into a part of the position for a move back up back towards these past highs. That's pretty good. About 600,000 shares on average is its volume. And if I picked one up there, approximately there, take it back to the highs there, it took about close to a 10% move, and we'd anticipate a breakout back above that. So that's what we've got going with Wing. As a matter of fact, that Wing idea is not a bad idea. And Wing and Autopilot traders, stand by. I'll be sending you something later today on that. Next is Tesla. We've been tracking Tesla, waiting for a potential reversal to the downside, and we may be getting it, but it looks kind of wonky. Just to be really honest with you, is price actions actually broke out of this downtrend and moved back up. Now, of course, you've got your longer term downtrend up here, And then we also have another shorter term downtrend that we can draw across here on Tesla. So a move back up into that level right there, about the 185-ish. As you can see, that's where it ran into trouble before, 185-ish. That would be a place where price action could reverse down off of that. Or, since we do not have a reversal signal as of yet, and we're supported by the 8-day moving average. But if I break below the, I'll give you the number, 166.56 level, we break below that, we could be going to move on back down and retest back down to at least 152. So that's a pretty good move to the downside. At this particular time, I'm looking more towards trading Tesla to the downside. I think that it's got a lot of headwinds that it's going up against. And right now, a potential CEO that's a little bit distracted. So I like Tesla back down to the downside, at least to here, or it could go lower than that. Let's get a projection of how low Tesla could go. And we do that by just throwing a Fibonacci from, now there's a whole bunch of projections on how far it could go. But just on this past move here, 100% retracement of that would take us down to 130 level, the 130 level, which just happens to correspond, take a look over here, to where price action, to where it did its reversal previously, and a 261 extension from that would take us all the way down into that buying area from when it did its reversal back in the first part of the year 2023. So that's what we've got going on for today, folks. And with that, I just want to say aloha. Have a great time while I am gone and out of the country. I look forward to it, when we get back. And just remember, aloha, trade well, prosper, mahalo, and God bless. And remember, just, we don't have to be overly patient. And if you could, subscribe to our channel. Keep us, going while I am away. And I will keep posting the videos to let you know what's going on. So aloha, God bless, and we'll see you next week.